hits on the YouTube that they're just not being used enough. Right? So get familiar with them, because most people aren't using them because they haven't even bothered to go look at it in the first place. Right? Which is, again, coming back to the teachable and treat it like a business and all that stuff. Take the time out to know what you've got and be familiar with it. The power of numbers and the law of averages. Right? This is our game. This is what it's all about. It's the number of people you invite, the number of people you share something with. If you share about the product with some people, you'll get some customers. If you share information about the business with some people, you'll get some distributors or some team members. But if you share lots, you'll get lots. So some, lots. I learned that very, very early on. It's all about the numbers game. And I'll talk about mentors in a moment, but there's one of our favorite mentors, and one of the things he talks about is you don't have to be the expert. You know, you may have a conversion rate, you talk to 10 people, you'll get one result. Talk to 10, you get one, because you're not very good. And you may have somebody else that can talk to 10 people and get 5 results, because they're better. Talk to 10, get 5. Talk to 10, get 1, which would you rather be? But here's the difference. The one who thinks they know it all and can talk to 10 and get 5, the other person can still beat them. Why? Because they had the event like last night. They talk to 100 people, get 10 people at the event. The person who thinks they're better talks to 5 people to get the same result. So you can be better by just talking to more people. Let the power of numbers work for you. All right? How many of you, I'll use today as a better example, and you don't have to answer, but if you had 5 people sat next to you right now today, do you think statistically something would happen? You'd be pretty excited, wouldn't you? So what do you need to do to get 5 people to an event like this? You've got to work it backwards. It's all about the power of numbers. Does that make sense? Because if you talk to one person that's a dead cert, you just know they love this, you know they'll come, you know they'll do this, you know, and you just rely on that one person, and then something happens and they don't show up. How do you feel? That's it. You go down. So power of numbers is so important. Now I love this one. Some of you have seen this before, but this stuck with me for a long time, so long ago that I stopped using it, and I call it my barrel of oysters theory. And again, I stole it from someone else. Is there anybody in this room who has seen this? Because I just wanted to. I love this. It's a great analogy. All right, so just bear with me. Our business is exactly like a barrel of oysters, which most of us have never seen. It's new to us anyway. We may have seen an oyster, but we've never seen a barrel of oysters. And a barrel of oysters is like this. If I told you there was a barrel of oysters here, and inside that barrel of oysters, there's guaranteed to be 5 pearls. There's 100 oysters in there, and there's 5 pearls in that barrel of oysters. And what happens is that you've got 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever time you want to put on it, and the job is that you can go and have whatever pearls are in that barrel of oysters. They're yours. You ready? Stopwatch is ready to go. Go. Well, what would you do? You go in there, you pick up the oyster, you open it up, you look inside, oh, it's empty. Okay, throw it aside. You get the next one, you open it up, look, throw it aside. The next one, you open it up, throw it aside. Open up, oh, there's a pearl. Yay! I got a pearl. Then you go to the next one, you open up, because they could be at the top, they could be halfway down, they could be all at the bottom, right? Your job is to go through that barrel of oysters, and every pearl you find is yours, right? That's not what happens, though. In our business, the pearl is the person who says yes. The barrel of oysters is all the contacts, connections, the people that you know. And what happens is that you go through it, you open up the oysters, no, there's not one there, you open up the next one, and you find the person who says yes. And you go, oh my God, right? I'll back up first of all. You open up the one and there isn't a pearl there, you've only opened up 3, and you go, oh my God, there's not a pearl in here. But you know what, do you think there's a pearl in here? There isn't, is there? Do you think that, no there isn't? I'll tell you what, could you stroke this a bit more? Maybe if we keep stroking it, a pearl will grow. Meanwhile the clock is ticking, and you've only looked at 3 oyster shells. Then you find the pearl, which is the person at GP, and then what you do is you hang on to that pearl, and you go, look everybody, I've got a pearl. And you walk around everywhere, and you advertise you've got a pearl, you post it on Facebook, you do all this wonderful stuff, you take them to the event, you stand there with your one person, here's my pearl, here's my shining star, clock is ticking, you've lost the other 4. Okay? Our business is about go through it, the power of numbers, open up the oyster shells, look for the pearls, plug them into the system and keep going. Does that make sense? Is it a good analogy? Right? It's so powerful. So I learned that early on because some people will do it. You cannot say the right thing to the wrong person or the wrong thing to the right person. Does that make sense? In that moment of time, they're either going to do it or they're not. You can't control that. Your job is to talk to them, Your job is to expose them. Your job is to share the product, share the business, and promote the events. You can't control the outcome. You really can't. So treat it like you've got to go through that barrel that's going to disappear. Depth is security, width is income. Now we're getting a little bit into the money side of things here a little bit, but it's quite important to understand. If you build a business, or I'll back up. If you're in a conventional job where you exchange hours for money, if you don't go into work, like Yvonne in a hair salon, you don't get paid. Is that fair enough? If you own a retail store and you don't open the front door, you don't get paid. So if you're sick, you've got no security in that you're not going to earn that income. How long can you survive? And something that's very important, my mother taught me this a long, long time ago, and I know in Canada it's terrible. If people can't go to work and they've got their bills, whether it's their heating, their car payments, their insurance, whatever it is, most people, sadly in Canada, I don't believe, can survive more than 2 or 3 weeks without a paycheck. It's quite bad, actually. My mother always taught me that you need to be able to go for at least a year, like have enough money in reserve that you can go for at least a year should that income stop. You can pay your bills, you can pay everything, put food on the table for at least a year. Some people will turn around, well, yeah, that's true, but what if you could make it so that it's at least 3 years? If you all now could think about that, if you knew that you had 3 years worth of money sat there that could just magically pay all your bills should something tragic happen, or you couldn't work, or you had to look after a loved one, or something like that, how good would that be, right? That's called security, isn't it? If you build a business with this company, if you build a customer base, and that's all you do is just build a customer base to whatever level it is that pays you, say, $500 a month, then that continues to come whether you're there or not. The whole system is designed up to free you up to find new business. And the other business stays there. You might lose the odd one or two, but you get the point. So whatever level you build that business to, that is security to some degree. If you build a team of distributors, and they find a team of distributors, and they build a team of distributors, in other words, you build a business that has depth, that gives you security. Because whether you're working or not, whether you're able to be around or not, whether you're in a particular province or not, or particular weather, you're an ice storm, nobody can do anything, if you've got a team that's somewhere else, then it's continuing to grow. Does that make sense? So depth, the bigger the organization, the deeper it is, the more you have that security. But that comes over time. That's not going to happen tomorrow. That takes time. And I'm going to touch on that this afternoon for those of you who want to come. Width, though, is income. If you need to put food on the table, money in the bank account, and you want to treat it like a business, then you want to go wide. And what I mean by depth and width is the wider you go in your own personal customer acquisition, obviously pays you more money, doesn't it? The more customers you get, the more money you're going to earn. The wider you go with the customer base, the more distributors you're going to have out of those customers that want to do what you do. So for example, if you've got 2 distributors, don't you think it'd be better to have 5? If you've got 5, would it be better to have 6? Right? The wider you go brings immediate income. So if you're trying to build your business off early, you want to go for the width. Does that make sense? So it's just a key that most of you will understand as time goes on. And it all comes down to this. Get yourself customer qualified. Because the best distributors are from your raving fans. Now, don't get me wrong, you may have someone who signs up for the product and within 24 hours they love it and they want to become a distributor. Some people it might take 4 years. We've got a national marketing director in our business. It took him 4 years to get on the product and another 3 years to become a distributor. We met him on a cruise. But now he's a national marketing director with 3 national marketing directors on his team. Alright, so you just have to understand that the bigger the customer base you have, eventually some of them will become distributors. Does that make sense? So width is important. So just go wide in the early days, and there it is. Just go wide. There's nothing that can go up and down in your business that can't be fixed by a brand new customer or a brand new distributor. Right? We see it. People that are just in the mud and wallowing in the mud together with a group of other people are all people that haven't signed up a new customer or a new distributor in the last 6 months. They're the ones that wallow in the mud, at the party, and then there's the other ones jumping up and down going crazy over here. Where do you want to be? Right? So go wide. It's so important. Can I? We talk about this a lot. Some people take this as criticism. It's not. Can I stands for constant and never-ending improvement. It doesn't matter who you are or how good you are at something or whatever it is, it can always be better. If you play guitar and you've learned a dozen chords or a certain riff, you can always make it better. You can always add a little bit more into it. If you're really good at making a recipe, you can always improve on it. You never just stick and stay there. You can always improve on it. If you're speaking or doing a presentation, if you're writing a book, whatever it is, you can always get better at it. It's not a criticism. It's what can I do to always improve. And if you have that attitude, you'll always grow. And certainly in our business, because things are always changing and growing. So have that can I intention. It's so, so powerful, so, so important. Which then leads us into invest in yourself. And who do you learn from? Who are your mentors? Very important. We talked about education before. If you want to if you wanted to learn how to play squash or golf, do you not learn faster and quicker and get better if you play that game with someone who's better than you? Right? If you're better than someone else, then you're only going to be able to play at their level. So who do you want to learn from? Who do you want to hang around? Who are going to become your mentors? And that's where I got all these phrases from. It's just people that became my mentors over the years, and I watched and learned what they were doing. That's why I always say at conference, get on the front row, because that's where the action is. That's where the N&Ds are walking back and forth. That's where they get to know you, you get to know them over the years. Hey, Bob, can you come over here? I've got a new person. I'd like you to meet this person. Because we're always there, everyone gets to know. Those mentors, you can pass that message on, right? The stranger is the expert. So who are you learning from? If you want, there's lots of people in direct sales. Now, this is just me talking, this is my personal opinion here. There are many people out there that have been successful in different direct sales companies, absolutely. And you can learn and gain a little bit of information from all of them. I'm not saying don't do that. But our business is very unique. We are a hybrid. We're kind of excelling our customer acquisition versus the distributor ratios that Stephen talked about before. We're not the same as the other gigs. So if you want to learn, wouldn't you want to learn from the people who've been highly successful in our gig rather than learning from the people highly successful in another gig that's different? You want to learn how to drive a race car, would you go and learn from the guy who sails a boat? Yeah, the same. There's certain elements of learning and certain elements of tenacity that would be the same in both. But learn, choose who your mentors are, is what I'm trying to say. And the trouble is, this again is my personal opinion, the internet has sped everything up now. And would you agree that information can be a little foggy? Like, how do you know what to believe out there? And the internet and social media has sped up our customer acquisition, our distributor acquisition. It's also sped up the amount of self-proclaimed potential mentors out there too. And just my personal opinion, in our business, if you've built a solid business and you know what you're doing and all that kind of stuff, that's great. If you're going on there and you want to say to the whole world, come and learn my method of being a trainer, I've built 6 or 7 successful national marketing director businesses, 6 or 7 network marketing businesses over the years, come and learn from me. Bullshit. If you've got a solid network marketing business, why would you jump from one to another to another to another to another? Simple as that. And I mean, okay, the product might come in, sorry, I've gone on too long there. Choose who your mentors are, right? Very, very important. Get the right ones that will help you in what it is that we're doing right now. Invest in your team. Invest in your team. That doesn't have to be just money. It could be hosting a wellness party so that your new team member can bring their friends along and you do a wine and wellness or something like that and put the presentation up on the TV or whatever it is you need to do. It could be going with them to the next event. Hey, come on, you come with me to Banff and we'll share the room together, split the cost. It's 4 of us, it's only $50 a night each. So invest in your team, choose who it is. Look for the people that are walking the talk and that are teachable. Because I can tell you there's lots of people out there, they're going to say, oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, but watch their feet, as Jeff always said to me. Watch their feet. Follow the people who say they'll do what they said they were going to do. And obviously you can guide them, right? So watch the people who are walking the talk and are wanting to be teachable. Does that make sense? Touching on some of the things we said before. And we're just about at the end. Your upline is not responsible for your success. They're really not. However, they are responsible for guiding you, but it's your responsibility to make your upline or your team members or whoever it is you're working with in the local community to want to invest in you. In other words, you're the one that's showing up. You're the one coming with the solutions, not the problems. Right? Make the people want to invest in you. And again, it doesn't have to be just in money. We've always done this. Then there's something which I call paper bagging. And it's just a thing, I mean, this is going back many years. When I first came to Canada, if you went and bought liquor in a liquor store, they used to put it in a brown paper bag and you weren't allowed to not have them in the bag in the car and all this kind of stuff. Some of you all still remember that. Is it still the same? Okay. You're hiding it. What happens in our business is you build a team and everything's growing and somebody becomes a leader in their own right, which is all fantastic, you want that. And then all of a sudden, they get the team, don't talk to my team, this is mine, I'm going to put them in this paper bag and I'm going to protect them from everything. And that's what you do. We call it paper bagging. And the trouble with that is the marketing plan is designed, there are 5 experienced people above any person that can help them and have a financial interest in what they're doing. That's how the marketing plan is designed. Why on earth would you want to shut that off? Because everybody can learn a little bit of something from somebody else. So don't put them all in a paper bag and hide them. Right? That's my team, don't talk to them. Right? Can't do that. And don't get me wrong, if there's someone who's a little poisonous, that's a little different, right? There's always about, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about in general, don't let ego get in the way. Don't be an asshole. This one's great. We got this from Catherine Lee. Somebody mentioned about Catherine Lee earlier on. That's a person who is always asking the questions. We had to, we talked to the Prevention Plus speakers. When people come and ask them questions afterwards, we don't want that one person that's just hogging the speaker the whole time, asking question after question after question after question, but never applies anything. Right? Could be business, could be product. They keep asking questions and it just goes into a hole and they never apply any of it. So don't be an asshole. If you ask the questions, apply them and use them. Does that make sense? And I know none of you would be that, but you need to spot the people who are, right? If that makes any sense. Is it worth it? Is it all worth it? I don't know. I mean, I know for us it was worth it. People only see the glossy part, the fun part. They don't see the things we had to go through. We didn't, most people don't see how we had to manage our disappointments. Somebody we really, we're going to do something, they're going to show up at the event, and then they just didn't show up because something else got in the way. And we're like, oh, that's great, we'll see you next time. We're I came all this freaking way here and blah, blah, blah. Like Yvonne used to feel when she goes to the hair salon and everybody's cancelled all day long because of the snowstorm, and yet she managed to get there and she's got to sit there and wait all day. So you have to learn how to manage those disappointments. And so, is it all worth it? Somebody wants to learn to be a rock star or whatever. They have to practice, for, 10,000 hours to get good in anything? They have to practice, 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 practice. Do you think the time they showed up at a gig and there was no audience? Of course. There's always things that are going to go wrong. Is it worth it? Well, I'll show you some things. It's not to brag. I want you to paint your picture. Is it worth it? Imagine if you did the work, you put in what was required, you helped other people be successful, you just learned how to get people to events and let the other experts do it for you. You just got good at getting people there. You got used to the no's. You got used to the disappointments. Is it worth it? Well, that may portray into your whys, which might be traveling the world and going to nice places, especially when it's cold and snowy outside. We've been able to do lots of that. And it's fun. It's great to go to. So it could be holidays. It could be the new car. That might make it worth it for you, whatever it is that's passionate to you. It could be more than just that. We love to have adventure and do stuff and do things with people. I mean, yes, we've got Charlie, but we love having people come and visit and doing good things. There's nothing exciting. I want any excuse to drive a boat, and I just love driving a boat. But the point is, seeing it through other people's eyes is way more fun. People who've never been on the boat before. What's that rap song? I don't like rap, but it's like I'm on a effing boat, right? You'd be amazed how many people come on the boat and they start singing that. They just, and you see it through their eyes. It's fun. Or having people come and they, and come and hang out at the pool and do all this kind of stuff, and having rooftop parties. It's kind of giving back, but really it's all about having fun. And here's something that's really cool. As we get older, sorry you younger guys here, you love going to parties and New Year's Eve parties and things like that, and throwing a party, and people always said to us, oh, you always like throwing parties and do good parties. As you get a little older, that's harder to do. Not because you can't throw the parties. I'm sorry, but this is a fact. But most people in the normal world, if you wanted to get 50, 60 people in your house, heaven forbid if you wanted to do that, you couldn't.